Where was the absolute last place on the planet to be found by humans? To find the answer, we have to look at how much of the world was unknown 300,000 years ago, when the human story was limited to a single point in Morocco. For most of our history, Homo sapiens remained within the African continent. Over tens of thousands of years, early populations gradually expanded from those origins into East and South Africa. Approximately 210,000 years ago, humans made their first recorded attempts to leave Africa. These travelers faced the extreme environmental barrier of the Middle East, a landscape defined by layered rock and endless sand. These initial migrations were not successful. Most groups failed to establish permanent settlements, often because they were pushed back by Neanderthals moving south to escape the freezing temperatures of Ice Age Europe. These early failures prove that expanding our reach across the planet would require more than just movement. It required surviving both a brutal climate and well-established rival species. A second, more successful wave of migration began roughly 70,000 years ago. Within just 5 millennia, these populations had moved across the Indian subcontinent and deep into Southeast Asia. The speed of this movement was remarkable. Humans crossed into Australia, pushing the boundaries of the known world further than any older hominid species had ever managed. While Asia and Australia were being settled, other groups returned to Europe 55,000 years ago. These Cro-Magnons moved north, eventually outcompeting and interbreeding with the resident Neanderthals, until that species vanished entirely. By this stage, humanity occupied the world's major connected continents. To go any further, they would have to face the challenge of the open ocean and the freezing poles. Global freezing actually assisted human expansion 20,000 years ago. As sea levels dropped, a solid land bridge emerged in the Bering Strait, physically connecting Siberia to Alaska. Humans used this corridor to enter the Americas. The migration south was slow, taking thousands of years to navigate the changing terrain before the first people finally reached the southern tip of the continent 14,000 years ago. The furthest northern regions remained uninhabitable until a slight global warming around 10,000 BC. This change allowed for permanent settlements along the punishing high-latitude coasts of Canada and Greenland. With the Americas occupied, humans had reached the end of the walkable landmasses. The only remaining territory lay across the deep water. The settlement of the world's islands often defied geography. Madagascar sits just off the African coast, yet it was first discovered around 500 AD by Indonesians, who had rowed thousands of miles across the Indian Ocean. At the same time, Polynesian sailors were using outrigger canoes to navigate the Pacific. They successfully located tiny, isolated islands scattered across the largest body of water on the planet. These sailors reached deeply remote targets like Hawaii and Easter Island without modern tools. On these islands, they carved and transported massive stone monoliths, proving they had established complex societies in total isolation. By the 15th century, European nations began systematic ocean mapping. Explorers like Ferdinand Magellan used documented sea navigation to find and claim the remote islands that remained. In 1507, the Portuguese reached Mauritius, home to the flightless dodo bird. Having evolved without predators, the dodo was driven to extinction shortly after the arrival of Dutch settlers. Mastery of the sea shifted the objective of discovery. It was no longer about finding vast new environments to occupy, but about locating and claiming the most isolated points on the globe. During the 17th and 18th centuries, whalers and scientific expeditions pushed toward the poles. They were searching for the final pieces of the map in the world's most hostile environments. Antarctica was the last continent to be found. Navigators first spotted the ice in 1820, though it would be another 75 years before a Norwegian team successfully landed on the shore in 1895. In 1913, a Russian expedition explored North Earth. This bitter, icy archipelago was the final major landmass of its size to be officially added to the global charts. By the middle of the 20th century, the era of identifying major new landmasses had come to a close. Every significant island and continent was now a recorded part of our shared geography. It's tempting to think the map is now complete, but the Earth is still creating new territory. In 1963, the island of Surtsey violently exploded out of the ocean near Iceland, creating land where there was none before. Similarly, Sif Island in Antarctica remained hidden from view until 2020. It was only revealed when the surrounding Pine Island Glacier melted enough to expose the dark rock hiding underneath.
There are also massive environments hidden beneath the surface. In 1991, the world's largest cave was discovered in Vietnam. This subterranean void is so massive that it contains its own internal weather system and a full-scale jungle. While we have recorded the surface of our world, the map remains a work in progress. Because the Earth is constantly shifting, eroding, and exposing new territory, the process of finding our way into the unknown isn't over. It is simply changing direction.